What is my top 10 favourite manga of 2021? Join me and find out.
That man and his manga.
Hello and welcome to That Man, That Is My Merchandise, and today we're going to look at the top 10 favourite manga of 2021. Now, to make this fair and, not just fill it up with like the usual suspects like One Piece or Doctor Stone or whatever, I'm going to pick the top 10 favourite series that I first picked up in 2021. Now, these did not necessarily start production in 2021. It's just the ones that I picked up and started reading in 2021. So, let's have a look at it, shall we? But before we get into all of that, if you're new to the channel and love all things manga and collecting, from figures to anime and light novels, do me a favour and subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss out on new weekly videos. The first title we're going to talk about is, well, it's a bit of an autobiography, and this is Blank Canvas, My So-Called Artist's Journey. Now, this is by the same creator as the absolutely fantastic Princess Jellyfish and Tokyo Tareba Girls. Both titles that I absolutely fell in love with, and because I enjoyed them so much, I had to pick up Akiko Higashimura's newest title, Blank Canvas, My So-Called Artist's Journey. Now, this was quite interesting. Like I said, it's a bit of an autobiography, so it's a little bit more grounded in reality to some other series that we may be talking about on this list. In fact, it's probably the most serious one out of all of this on this list, and you know what, that's completely fine. Now, this is about Akiko, and she has dreams of becoming a manga creator because, of course, we all have that dream that we will someday reach becoming a peak manga artist. And she's trying and trying and trying, and she's like, oh man, I'm going to become a huge mangaka before I even graduate, and everyone's just like, no you're not, don't be stupid, this isn't Baku, man. And yeah, it's all of that tongue-in-cheek kind of humour where it's just kind of like, there's that bit of humour where it's all grounded in reality, and it just makes it all the more absurd and funny for it. Now, she thinks that she's going to get it's art, it'll be easy, I'll just go into a summer course, and she enrolls herself on this summer course, and this guy, this art tutor, is just like hitting people with sticks and all this weird stuff that you wouldn't normally expect with modern art and stuff like that. He's going to whip them into shape, and it's really good for it because you could tell that this man has had a huge influence on her life, and I kind of have a feeling I know where this is going to end up, which is going to be quite sad. But I mean, I've only read volume 1. I read volume 1 and I picked up volume 2 and volume 5. The reason being is that volume 5 kind of went out of stock, and I was just like, oh well, I don't want to buy too much, and then it came back in stock, and then volume 3 and 4 kind of went out of stock, so I haven't read all of it. But if you like Princess Jellyfish, if you like Tokyo Tareba Girls, and if you don't, what's wrong with you? They're absolutely fantastic titles. Go and check this one out, you're going to have a lot of good times with it. Next up, we're going to go into the land of where Shonen Jump's with, well, the only title from Shonen Jump on this list, because Shonen Jump's in a weird position, because right now they're pretty much just throwing Demon Slayer manga at us 24/7, and quite frankly, I don't really have that much interest in most of them. But there has been a fantastic title. Now, I'm not sure whether this one started in 2021 or whether this was last year. This in the series with another title called Sakamoto Days. I really enjoyed that one. I think that one was last year, whereas this one's this year. And it is a title that it's going to be huge when it comes out. It's going to be absolutely massive when it gets its anime adaptation. It's already doing extremely well in terms of manga sales in Japan. I don't hear anybody talking about it from the West, and that's probably because of the content. It's a very much historical drama, and that is The Elusive Samurai. Now, this is by the same creator as Assassination Classroom, a title that I absolutely adore, and again, I don't really see that many people talking about it, at least not so much these days. It was a fantastic title, it was heartbreaking, it was hilarious, and you know, I kind of am getting the same vibe with Elusive Samurai. There's something about this author who just seems to manage to tickle my fancy with their titles, and well, this is a samurai who, well, he's very young and he's, well, you know, he's had a hard time. He's had a hard time. He's really had a horrible time with, like, pretty much everybody he's been in contact with getting massacred and him being labelled as a traitor or something. But he's got his special skill, and that is running away. It's Senna from iShield 21. No, it's not. But if you like your historical drama, if you want Kingdom, but you don't really kind of want to invest all of that time in Kingdom, and you want something a little bit slightly more light-hearted than Kingdom, Elusive Samurai is probably going to be up your alley. It's a lot of fun, but it also has that well-written historical drama that might just scratch an itch for you. I would really recommend checking this one out. Like I said, it has been absolutely fantastic. And for a year of Shonen Jump where it had a lot of kind of middling titles, where a lot of titles have shown promise just to be cancelled, Elusive Samurai is definitely one that I'm really excited to read more. And quite frankly, it very early on became better than a lot of other longer running series, at least in my opinion. So yeah, go check that one out. I think you might be slightly surprised. Next up is another one that I picked up because Mieurok-Chan ended, and this title was not what I expected. In fact, this was a title that I kind of got into thinking it was one thing, then I was a little bit disappointed when it wasn't necessarily that. But I kind of fell in love with it a little bit more once Volume 2 came around, and that was because I knew what I was going in for. Now, this title is, well, Otaku Elf. And this is, well, yeah, as you can probably imagine by the, just like how you can just see the reflection there, well, as you can imagine by the cover, it's kind of advertising itself, oh, well, this is a shut-in elf and all she wants to do is play games and stuff like that. Kind of like Mieurok-Chan, only with an elf. And that's kind of what I was expecting. And what I got was a lot of Shrine Maiden facts, and that's why I was kind of, at first I was like, well, yeah, I don't know about that. It's just like, is that really what I want? And then I kind of realised it was what I wanted, and the weird way it was advertised was just kind of like, oh, well, you come for the Otaku Elf, but stay for the Shrine Maiden facts. And I really enjoyed that. I really liked the idea of a series that is going to lure you in with one thing, you know, games, and give you something else that's probably a bit more interesting. I mean, at the end of the day, we've still got Mieurok-Chan and New Game and all of those other fun gaming titles. But if we're going to have something that kind of gives us that, but also gives us some really interesting historical facts, yeah, good on you. Now, this is, as you can imagine, it's about an otaku elf, and she's just like, oh, I love Gundam, and I love playing on the Nintendo, not Switch, and yeah, on top of that, we have the Shrine Maiden who's got to look after her, because this elf is basically the local goddess, deity of that area, and yeah, like I said, if you want Shrine Maiden, if you want, like, historic goddess facts and stuff like that, yeah, great time. Next up is another one which actually I was a little bit lukewarm on the manga, and I recently saw the movie adaptation of it and enjoyed that a lot, so I went back to the manga and enjoyed it a lot more, and that is PomPo The Cinephile. Now, I will go a little bit more in depth with this one at a later date once the movie has been released on Blu-ray, which will probably be in a few months' time. But this is an interesting one. Now, this is essentially a love letter to Hollywood, and it also addresses a few things with Hollywood. So, PomPo is this wonder kid, child genius who can make pretty much any movie amazing. and she's kind of just swimming around, you know, the B movies. But every B movie she makes has been absolutely fantastic. And she comes across a young boy who is in love with movies as well, and he just wants to create the perfect movie, and they team up and they pretty much do that. Now, this is volume 1, and this is the same plot as what is in the movie, and there's still more volumes. But it's a very much standalone one. You can actually just check this out, and if you don't like it, well, you've only bought 1 volume. It's kind of self-contained, but yeah, it's really good. And like I said, it addresses a lot of things with the anime and, well, the movie industry. It's very much kind of like, oh, making movies is so much fun, and editing things is so much fun, and I love how it takes all of the mundane, the things like the editing, and just makes them so epic. I mean, in the movie there's an absolutely fantastic scene where the editor is just editing things, and it is so good. It really made me appreciate editing quite a lot more, which is weird because I do tend to do a lot of editing for videos. And that's one of the things I kind of feel is the unsung hero of the movie industry, the editor, the person who will make a movie from 11, 20 hours or whatever it is of content into that perfect movie. And it also goes into, obviously, the trailer, you've got to hook them in and give them a twist, all in like 7 seconds, because that's the average attention span of somebody. And if you enjoy movies, I would recommend checking out PomPo The Cinephile, because it is a really over-the-top, ridiculous title, but it says so much about the industry. It's really good for it. It also made me realise that I don't want to see movies more than 90 minutes long. It gave us a reason to see 90 minutes long is the perfect movie length, and I'm just kind of like, yes, I agree. There's so many movies where you watch them and they're 2.5 hours long and you'd be like, well, I could have skipped about an hour of that. And PomPo The Cinephile is a fantastic series. I'm really excited for more of it. And yeah, go check it out. Next up is another title that I wasn't unsure with at first, but once I kind of started reading more, I got really into it. And that title is Mieurok-Chan. Now, this is a title that is, well, it's currently ongoing for an anime, and I was going to try and do a whole video on this one, but then just kind of didn't have time, and yeah. So this is Mieurok-Chan, and she is a girl who can see dead people or monsters, and she gets all scared, but she just wants to make it so that the monsters and everything knows that she's scared. So yeah, it's stupid, but it's a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed this one. And I'm not a person who really buys into a lot of these horror movies and stuff like that. I like, well, you know, your cute girls being doggos or cute girls doing whatever. But this one was especially good. In fact, it takes a lot of stuff from titles such as Yu Yu Hakusho and Bleach. Remember when them were ghost stories or monster stories where, oh, you can see dead things and all of a sudden they're storming the Soul Society. Please don't have a Soul Society arc, Mieurok-Chan. But really, this is a fantastic series. It's one of those ones where, like you said, the monsters are pretty darn scary, and in terms of a horror manga, I would say it's pretty up there. It's got a lot of really horrific moments, but it's also got a nice amount of slice of life to kind of offset that, so you're not just getting one weird thing, which tends to be with a lot of the horror mangas. It's like, yeah, look at that, it's weird. Yeah, we'll just keep being weird. But yeah, Mieurok-Chan, like I said, it's about a girl who sees dead people, and that's about it. But it's worth your time. Go check it out. I keep saying go check it out. Go check it out. The next title we have is, well, it's one that I read volume 1 of, absolutely loved, and just haven't had a chance to check out anything more of. And it is the fantastic Asadora. not to be confused with Toradora. And yeah, this is an interesting one. I'm not going to get too far into it because it's one that I feel like the more you know about it, the less surprises and suspense there is for it. It's about a young girl and, well, there's a big massive storm coming and things happen. It's very difficult to talk about this one without being able to spoil anything. And it's about the people she meets and the people who like help each other in this time of crisis, because her house has just been wiped off the map along with pretty much the entire place she lives. And it's really interesting. It's a really interesting series. Like I said, I don't want to get too much into it because I would be spoiling huge things, but believe me, go check it out because, yeah, it's really good from what I've seen. Really, really good. The next title I want to talk about is My Alcoholic Escape from Reality. Now, I've talked about the creator Nagata Kabi's titles previously on this channel, and I feel like their titles are absolutely amazing. Again, the ones where you don't really kind of want to go in kind of thinking, oh well, this is going to be sunshine and happiness. No, 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 no. This is the depressing side of reality, and it's done rather well. In fact, it's done a little bit too well, to the point that you just really, really want the author to have a good time. Except if they have a good time, they wouldn't create more manga. In fact, that's even addressed in this series, and it's just like, oh well, I don't actually have anything more to write because, yeah, I've been having a good time, and I'm just like, yeah, brilliant. Oh no, you wrote another manga, and well, this is My Alcoholic Escape from Reality, in which the creator essentially becomes an alcoholic, and all of the steps and things that happen from that, and how her entire life was changed. And it's really interesting for it. Again, like I said, it's one of those series where you're not going to go in for the comedy, it's not a battle shonen, but it is something rather important, and much like their previous works, this one is so worth your time. I'm actually quite surprised that I don't see enough people talking about this. Maybe it's because it's more realistic. Absolutely fantastic. Again, go check it out. It's one of those ones where I don't want to say too much about it because, well, it's a serious subject and it's kind of like, yeah. But it's worth your time in doing so if you do want to check it out at some point. The next one is another one which I've been really desperate to get more volumes of because the anime is still ongoing, but I can't watch it because I want to read the source material first, and it is yet another great find. The great Jahi will not be defeated. Now, this is about essentially a demon lord, a female demon lord, or a very high ranking demoness who is essentially defeated by the protagonist and is flung into the real world with no powers, nothing, and she's just being like, well, I'm not going to be defeated and I'm going to rebuild the Demon Lord's territory, and all of them crazy, cute, small girl does cute things that you would expect in a title that has this as a cover. It's a really fun one. It's not going to be to everybody's tastes, but you know what? I really love stupid, cute girls doing stupid, cute things because she's very, very cute and she's very, very small. I think that's basically the entire thing behind this, and there's a lot of good laughs behind this one, and it is a really fun series. I really can't wait for more volumes, which just seem to be getting delayed and delayed and delayed. I think it was October the last one was supposed to be out. So yeah, hopefully soon. Hopefully. The next title we have is another one in that, you know, teasing genre. And It is Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. And this is a title that I really wasn't sure about. From what I've seen of the anime promotional material, I was kind of like, oh no, this isn't going to be for me. And I think I bought it at the beginning of the year. I think I had like a very special deal where you got like the entire set for like $25 or whatever it was digitally, and I was just like, yeah, I'll buy it, I'll try it out. In fact, I wanted to actually do a teasing manga series video, which might still happen. And I read it. I was just like, volume 1. I was just like, oh no, I don't like this. She's literally just horrible to him. She's literally just bullying him. And I think originally, as far as I was called, it was just Don't Bully Me, Miss Nagatoro. And then all of a sudden, I was just like, well, I've bought all of this, and I was just like, oh well, I'll read everything that I've got. And I think I had volumes 1 to 5, and by the end of volume 2, I was just like, actually, I'm quite enjoying this. The facial reactions on the main character is really fun, and it moves from being a bullying series to a rather cute slice of life romance. And yeah, like I said, I think one of the things that I mentioned when I did mention that I was reading this on Twitter is that there was a few people who were just like, oh no, I can't read it, it's all about bullying. And people were like, no, it's not, it's never about bullying. And I'm just like, it kind of is. I mean, the first volume or so, she is pretty much bullying him until it kind of becomes more and more apparent that she really likes him, and it ends up being genuinely heartwarming. And it, like I said, it is a very difficult one because, like I said, if people have been bullied, it might open up some old scars, but believe me, it genuinely does become really cute. And I ended up just buying every volume that I can. I mean, even like, as soon as it came out, as soon as volumes are coming out, I'm buying this one. I'm even tempted to actually pick this one up physically because I genuinely am having quite a good time with it. Like I said, the main character is genuinely cute, and there is a lot of really hilarious moments in here that do make up for the first few chapters. So if you've ever been on the fence with it, my recommendation is try volumes 1 to 2 to 3, and if you don't like it after that, drop it. I believe it's on Crunchyroll. If not, there is an anime that I think goes up to like the events of season 5, with season 2 coming out soon. So if you do want to check it out, try the anime and then pick it up after that, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. The last title I'm going to talk about today is Uncle from Another World. Now, this is a title that it's an isekai, and I was like, no, I love me isekais as light novels. I'm not going to read it as a manga. And I really am glad that I tried this one out because this one was absolutely fantastic. So this is Uncle from Another World. Now, it's an isekai, but it's also a reverse isekai because, well, 17 years ago, the uncle got sent to another world. But now he's back. That's right, he spent 17 years in another world and he's back. And yeah, rather than this whole isekai thing where people go to another world and they're automatically super powerful and then everybody loves them and he gets a huge harem, the uncle's just like, no, it was horrible. It was the worst experience I've ever had. Second only to the realization that Sega no longer make games consoles. And I really laughed at this one. This one was genuinely hilarious. There are a lot of really funny moments, and there's a lot of moments where you're just like, oh no, because what we do get is the uncle saying, oh yeah, it was horrible, I looked like a goblin, everybody treated us horrible, everyone was just beating us up. And then we start seeing clips of what actually happened, and yeah, there's an elf girl who he's just like, oh yeah, she was horrible, she was bullied us the entire time, and it wasn't, she was just tsundere, but because tsundere characters didn't really exist in anime back then, the uncle didn't know that trope, so he was just kind of like, oh yeah, she's horrible to us, but when no, she's just like, I hate you, but I love you kind of character, and honestly, you genuinely feel sorry for all these girls because it is kind of like one of these ones where it's just like, there's a lot of girls who genuinely do like him, and he's just kind of like, oh yeah, you're trying to trick us and you're trying to steal me wallet or whatever, and it's just kind of like, and he's so dense about it as well. It's genuinely one of these ones where he's so dense about everything, it kind of makes it even more hilarious. Now the artwork for this one is a little bit hit or miss. It's kind of like if you think about a not quite as good prison school artwork. The artwork is very rough at times, but you know, it actually makes it that more hilarious. Honestly, if I've got to pick one manga to recommend you guys this year, it's probably going to be this one. And yeah, it's, like I said, it was hilarious. I just couldn't get enough of it, to the point that as soon as volumes are coming out, I'm just picking them up and reading them. Expect a video on this sometime soon, because I can't get enough of it and I want to talk about this one that little bit more. Hey guys, thanks for checking out my top 10 manga of 2021. Let me know in the comments what series you have been adoring this year, and if you did like this, remember to leave a like and consider subscribing. We're nearly at 4,000, so we've got to get there. Check out some other videos up here.